The challenge from the stars. The galaxy had always been a vast, cold place. Thousands of civilizations rose and fell over the ages, and the Galactic Empire ruled most of the stars with an iron fist. No one dared challenge the Empire, not for centuries. But Earth was different. The Empire had forgotten about Earth. It was a small planet, isolated, surrounded by primitive technology and peaceful societies. To them, Earth was weak. They paid it no attention. That was their mistake. The Empire's invasion fleets were massive, ships the size of moons, filled with powerful weaponry, headed toward Earth. They thought it would be an easy conquest. One more planet to add to their ever-expanding empire. The Empire had no idea what was coming on Earth. In the heart of Earth Defense Command, General Alina Riker stood before a massive screen, watching as the first Imperial warships appeared in orbit. They looked like black clouds against the bright blue sky. Hundreds of them. Earth's defenses were minimal. But Riker knew Earth had something the Empire hadn't counted on, something they had kept hidden for centuries. It was humanity's secret weapon built in silence, and now it was time to use it. For years, deep beneath Earth's surface, Project Genesis had been underway. Hidden in a forgotten base buried deep in the Arctic ice, humanity had been building something beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. It was their last hope. A warship so powerful it could change the course of a galactic battle. The Battlestar. It had been designed in secret, away from the eyes of the Empire. Built in silence, deep underground, far from prying sensors, the Battlestar was humanity's ultimate weapon, faster, stronger, and more powerful than anything the Empire had ever encountered. General Riker wasn't sure if it would work, but it was their only chance. As the enemy fleet moved into position, Riker turned to her team. Her voice was calm but full of determination. "We don't have much time. The Battlestar is ready. Let's move out." Her officers nodded, their faces tight with anticipation. They had all trained for this moment, but none of them had ever expected it to come like this, so suddenly, so violently. Outside, the sky was darkening. The first shots from the Empire's fleet rang out, flashing across the sky with terrifying speed. Earth's defenses fired back, but they were no match for the Empire's firepower. But Earth wasn't finished. Far beneath the Earth's crust, deep in the coldest corners of the Arctic, Project Genesis sprang to life. Massive doors that had been sealed for centuries began to open. Ancient machinery powered up with a low, humming sound. Lights flickered on inside the long-forgotten shipyards. The Battlestar was finally awake. General Riker stood in the command center of Earth Defense Command, watching as the first Battlestar took off. The ground shook as it rose from its secret base beneath the ice. Its massive engines roared to life, and the ship shot up through the atmosphere like a missile, tearing through the sky. It was a sight that left even the most experienced officers in awe. The Battlestar was huge, far bigger than anything the Empire had ever faced, and it was Earth's last hope. On the surface, the Empire's ships continued to fire, their lasers cutting through the atmosphere and ripping apart anything in their path. Earth's cities were under attack. The once bustling streets of New York, Tokyo, and Berlin were now empty, abandoned by the people who had been forced to flee underground. But above it all, the Battlestar moved forward, undeterred. Inside the command center of Battlestar, General Riker was already working. The ship's AI, a voice that had been dormant for centuries, woke up, speaking through the speakers. General Riker, all systems are fully operational. Weapons online. Shields at full power. Riker nodded. Prepare for launch. Lock onto the enemy fleet. Locked. Fire. The Battlestar fired its first shot. It was a massive beam of energy that split the sky. The blast hit one of the Imperial ships directly, cutting through its shields and blasting it into pieces. The Empire's fleet was thrown into chaos. The enemy had never expected this. They had thought Earth was defenseless, weak, and easy to crush, but they were wrong. Humanity had been preparing in secret, and now they were fighting back. As more ships fell, Riker turned to her officers. We won't stop until they know who we are. Earth is not their playground. Back in space, the Empire's fleet was scrambling. They had never encountered anything like this before. Their largest ships were falling to the Battlestar's weapons, and Earth's fleet wasn't finished yet. The Battlestar was just the beginning, in the heart of the Galactic Empire. Chancellor Vaughn stood at the window of his command room, watching the destruction unfold. He had underestimated Earth, and now it was too late. They didn't just fight back, he muttered, watching as another one of his warships was destroyed. They survived. The Battlestar was not just a ship, it was a symbol, a message. To the galaxy that humanity would never bow down again. On Earth, as the Battlestar continued to strike down the invading fleet, General Riker knew they had only just begun. This battle was only the first step. Earth's true strength would be revealed in the war to come. The Battlestar had proven that Earth was no longer weak. Earth was awake, and the galaxy would never forget. Earth's secret weapon revealed the battle raged on in space, but Earth's defenses were no longer helpless. The Battlestar, Earth's greatest secret weapon, now stood as humanity's first line of defense, pushing back the Empire's seemingly unstoppable fleet. General Alina. Riker stood at the command center of the Battlestar, watching as the last remnants of the Imperial ships fled. Her eyes were fixed on the screen, but her mind was already racing. The battle was not over. This was just the beginning. The Empire, reeling from the sudden attack, had underestimated humanity's ability to fight back. They had underestimated Earth's resolve. But what came next? Could Earth hold on long enough to recover and defend itself? Far above the Earth's surface, in the middle of the galaxy's most advanced Imperial war fleet, the Empire's highest commanders had gathered. They watched in shock as their once mighty ships were torn apart by the Battlestar's energy beams. Their initial arrogance had turned into fear. Chancellor Vaughn, the leader of the Galactic Empire, stood at the head of the room, fury building in his chest. His mind raced. They were nothing, Vaughn muttered. We were supposed to crush them, wipe them out with a single blow. How could this be? One of his generals stepped forward, his voice trembling with frustration. Our forces were not prepared for this. Warship. It's unlike anything we've ever seen. The technology, the weapons, ... Vaughn's face hardened. No more excuses. Send every remaining ship. We cannot let this stand. Earth will fall. Meanwhile, Earth's response was clear. General Riker stood before her officers, the air tense with anticipation. A sense of victory filled the room, but it was tempered with the understanding that the real fight had just begun. We've shown them our power, Riker began, her voice strong. But the Empire won't let this go. They'll return. And when they do, they'll bring everything they have. One of her officers looked at her, concern in his eyes. Do you think they'll send another fleet that big? They lost so many ships today. Riker's eyes narrowed. They will come, but this time they'll be ready. Back in space, the Battlestar remained in position, hanging above Earth like a shield, ready for the next wave of attacks. Titan-class cruisers and destroyers from Earth's defense fleet moved to take position, but they were still vastly outnumbered. The Empire's superior forces were out there, regrouping. "What about the others?" asked Lyra, one of Riker's trusted officers. She was standing beside her, looking at the battlefield. Riker shook her head, focused. "We cannot fight them alone. The Battlestar was built for this moment, but it can't stand against their entire fleet forever." The Battlestar's engines hummed, sending waves of energy across the space as it shifted into a higher gear. The supercarrier had one purpose now: to buy Earth enough time to call for reinforcements. Enough time for Earth to rally every last soldier, every last ship. But Riker knew that wasn't enough. Earth needed alliances. They needed more than just weapons. At the same time, on the surface of Earth, preparations were underway for what could be their last stand. People flooded the underground bunkers, families huddled together, awaiting the next orders. Humanity had always been on the brink of destruction, but this time they felt it. The Empire was coming, and they were coming with everything. The Battlestar's AI came to life again, speaking to General Riker. Its voice was calm, almost peaceful. "General Riker, an unknown fleet is emerging from the edge of the system. Estimated time of arrival: 30 minutes. Riker's heart skipped a beat. How large? Unknown. Fleet size cannot be determined. It is growing rapidly." Back in space, the Empire's reinforcements had arrived. This time, there was no hesitation. Their fleet was massive, extending across the entire sky, their ships glinting like silver knives against the stars. Vaughn's voice cut through the air. "Earth, we'll regret this. We'll burn their cities, destroy their fleet, but we'll leave them one chance." One of his generals raised an eyebrow. "What chance?" Vaughn turned to face him, a cold smile on his lips. "We give them one final choice. Surrender now, and we'll spare them." The Empire was confident. The message was sent across every frequency. "Earth, surrender, and we will spare you. Continue this fight, and your planet will be obliterated." On Earth, General Riker stood. Before her team, the tension building. She knew the Empire's arrogance would come back to haunt them. The Battlestar wasn't just a weapon. It was humanity's answer to the galaxy's oppression. And it was the only thing standing between Earth and complete destruction. "No surrender," Riker said, her voice unwavering. "We will fight for our future. We will fight for our people. We will make sure that Earth is never taken again." As the Empire's fleet advanced, Earth's ships moved to engage them, but Riker knew this battle would be different. The Battlestar had already proven its power, but Earth still needed to prove something greater, that humanity would never back down. The Empire had made a critical mistake. They thought they could break Earth. Now they would see that humanity was more than they had ever imagined. Earth's last stand, the air around Earth was thick with tension. General Alina Riker stood in the command center of the Battlestar watching. As the Empire's reinforcements filled the sky like a swarm of locusts, their ships were unlike anything Earth had ever seen. Sleek, armored, and powerful, they had arrived in full force, and there was no way to stop them all. But Earth was not done yet. The first shots rang out, bright streaks of energy that pierced the stillness of space. The Empire opened fire first, their massive energy cannons lighting up the night sky. The Battlestar was the first to retaliate, its massive guns roaring with deadly intent. Beams of blue energy shot through the darkness, slicing enemy ships in half, but the Empire's fleet was relentless. For every Empire ship that fell, 2 more took its place. The sheer size of the enemy's forces was overwhelming. The Battlestar, despite its might, was forced to fight for its life on Earth. Civilians huddled in underground bunkers, the world's military on full alert. The sky was darkened with ships, and the echoes of distant explosions rattled the walls. Earth's military, though outnumbered, was not unprepared. The Battlestar had already proven its strength, but Riker knew they needed more. They needed alliances. They needed to draw from every last corner of Earth's strength, from every hidden ship and forgotten base. The Empire had underestimated Earth's resolve, but the full power of humanity was still untapped. "General, we've just received a communication from Andromeda," an officer reported, his voice filled with shock. "It's from the outer colonies. They're sending reinforcements." Eyes lit up. Earth had been isolated for so long, but the outer colonies had watched. They had seen the Empire's aggression, and now they were responding. "We're not alone," she whispered. "It's time to show them what humanity is capable of." Above Earth, the battle intensified. The Empire continued its assault, but Earth was holding strong. The Battlestar was carving through the enemy fleet, a beacon of humanity's defiance. Yet even Riker's legendary ship was beginning to show signs of wear. Its shields flickered, its weapons slowed. But Earth was still fighting. The Empire's flagship, a towering ship of death and destruction, appeared on the horizon, its presence casting a long shadow over the battlefield. It was an imposing sight, the final blow that would end the war. "If Earth didn't act fast, Titan is coming," one of Riker's officers reported, panic creeping into their voice. "They're sending in their flagship?" Riker gritted her teeth. The Titan was the Empire's most advanced ship, a monstrosity that dwarfed the Battlestar. If they didn't stop it, Earth's last line of defense would be obliterated. "We won't let them win," Riker said firmly. "We can't afford to fall back now." The Battlestar surged forward, its engines glowing brighter than ever before. It launched a full barrage of its weapons, taking out a dozen smaller ships in the blink of an eye. But the Titan was still coming, slowly, steadily, a giant moving through space with the sole purpose of destruction. Riker turned to her crew. "Focus all firepower on Titan. We need to stop it before it gets any closer." The final fight had begun. The Battlestar locked onto Titan's engines, firing everything it had. The battle was intense, every second filled with the roar of explosions and the hum of laser fire. The Empire's flagship fought back, its massive cannons striking. The Battlestar with devastating force. For a moment, it seemed like Earth's victory was slipping away. The Battlestar's shields weakened. The crew on board could feel the ship groan under the strain. Every hit made the Battlestar tremble, but it didn't stop. But then, something incredible happened. From the depths of Earth's hidden defenses, Allied fleets arrived. Ships from the outer colonies, previously hidden, rose from the atmosphere. They were smaller than the Empire's warships, but they were fast, agile, and relentless. Together, they surrounded the Titan and cut off its retreat. Earth's forces were no longer alone. The power of human unity surged forward. The Titan, realizing it was now surrounded, began to fire its final, desperate shots. But the Battlestar was prepared. With a final explosive barrage, the Titan's engines failed, its massive form cracking in half as the Battlestar's weapons tore through its shields. The flagship of the Empire fell, its lights flickering, its engines dead. Earth's victory was now complete, but even as the Empire's flagship fell, General Riker knew the war was not over. The Empire had been defeated here, but they would regroup. They would rebuild as the wreckage of the Titan floated in space. Riker turned to her officers, her voice full of resolve. "This victory is just the beginning," she said, staring at the glowing lights of the Battlestar. "We've shown the galaxy that Earth will not be crushed. Humanity is ready to fight for its place among the stars." Earth reclaims the stars. The Empire's fleet was in ruins. Their most powerful ships, including the mighty Titan, lay scattered across the vastness of space, shattered and powerless. Earth's forces had emerged victorious, but General Alina Riker knew this was only the beginning. The Galactic Empire, humiliated, would never forget what had happened today. They would regroup, rebuild, and return with vengeance. Riker understood that the true battle wasn't over yet, it was only shifting. And this time, Earth would be ready. Back on Earth, people began to emerge from their underground shelters. They had witnessed the battle from their screens, from hidden bunkers, from places thought to be safe. Now, they were standing in the light, looking up at the stars, and for the first time in centuries, they saw something different. Earth had not just survived. Earth had won. The Battlestar had proven that humanity was capable of unimaginable things. No longer a weak, isolated planet, Earth was now a force to be reckoned with. Inside Earth Command, General Riker stood before a holographic map of the galaxy. It was a map of what Earth had once been a part of, a forgotten member of a galactic community. The Empire had controlled the stars, but now, with their fleet broken and their power shattered, Earth had an opportunity. Riker's eyes narrowed. "We're not just survivors anymore. It's time to make sure the galaxy knows what Earth stands for." She turned to her team. "We're taking the fight to them." As Riker spoke, Allied fleets from the outer colonies began to gather around Earth. For the first time, the world was united. Humanity was no longer fractured into isolated nations and factions. The war against the Empire had brought them together. "We've built the Battlestar," Riker said. "Now, we build an alliance." The galaxy was watching, in deep space. The Empire's remaining commanders were in disarray. They were scattered, their forces in ruins. The Empire had no immediate plans for retaliation, but the fear had begun to set in. One of the highest-ranking officers in the Empire, Admiral Jashkar, stood before the shattered remains of the Titan in deep space, watching the wreckage from his own flagship. "We underestimated them," he muttered, his fingers gripping the edge of the table. "Earth is not what we thought." Another officer, a younger lieutenant, spoke up hesitantly. "Admiral, what are we going to do? Earth's forces have grown stronger. Their fleets are organized. We can't face them like this." Jeshkar turned slowly, his eyes glowing with a cold fury. "We're not done yet. Earth may have won this battle, but they have no idea what's coming next. They think they've defeated us, but they've only awakened something worse." He turned to his command officer. "Prepare the invasion fleet. It's time we remind Earth what true power looks like." Back on Earth, Riker stood before the holographic display again, watching the movement of ships. The Battlestar had become the symbol of humanity's new beginning, but now Earth faced a new threat. The Empire was not done. The galaxy was too vast, and the Empire too strong. We need more than just strength, Riker said to her team. We need strategy. We need unity. It's time to create an army that will hold the stars. As Earth's fleet moved into deeper space, Riker prepared for a mission she knew could either succeed or end in disaster. The Galactic Diplomatic Initiative. Earth was not just going to fight. They would forge alliances. The first step was to reach out to the forgotten civilizations on the edge of the galaxy. They would need every ally they could get. Their first target, the Corian and Zelaxians, the highly advanced alien races who had been neutral for centuries. These races had long kept to themselves, wary of the Empire, but not willing to take a side. General Riker had one goal: to unite the galaxy against the Empire. It would be a gamble, but with the Battlestar leading the charge, Earth had a chance to change the course of galactic history. Back on Earth, in the midst of all the planning, a new signal arrived. It was a distress signal from the outermost colonies. It seemed the Empire hadn't been as weak as it appeared. Rebel forces were sending word that the Empire's military had launched a counteroffensive. They've already begun rebuilding their fleet, Riker muttered. We can't wait any longer. In deep space, the Empire's final weapon was already being prepared. A massive dreadnought, a ship the size of a city, capable of wiping out entire fleets with one shot. The Empire was preparing for one last strike. Riker looked at the map. The stakes had never been higher. She turned to her team and gave one final order: prepare to launch the Alliance offensive. We're going to meet the Empire head-on, but we won't fight alone. We fight with the power of Earth's future, and with the strength of every race that has stood with us. The Battlestar moved forward, carrying humanity's hopes into the unknown. Its engines roared as it cut through the stars, leading Earth's fleet to face the Empire's ultimate weapon. For the first time in galactic history, Earth would not just be a target. Earth was ready to lead, and the galaxy would have no choice but to follow.